Forging links.
Forging links.
Forging links, one person at a time.
Right, please tell me you can all see that.
All good, yeah.
All right, so where we were up to last time, we'd been through briefly NFTs and a brief overview of the metaverse. Yep. Today, we're at decentralized finance, DeFi. Now, do you want me to read that or do you want to read it yourselves?
Just read the first two, just read to the end of that page. There's enough in there. Just to keep
okay, yep. Decentralized finance, or DeFi, aims to provide similar financial products to banks while remaining decentralized and fair. Traditional banking allows for unclear and unfair practices due to a lack of transparency. Those with superior information can take advantage of those less informed and thereby create an uneven playing field. Users also lack control when using traditional banking and trading platforms, especially in the Robinhood debacle in early 2021, where users were unfairly blocked from trading. Decentralized finance aims to solve each of these problems using smart contracts and blockchain technology. For those, do you know what the Robinhood debacle was, Paul?
Yeah, basically, there was a trading platform that was trying to give everybody fair access. For those of you who don't know, in the trading industry, it's very much a closed shop. It's very similar to the banking industry. Unless you're kind of in the know, you can't really get into that club. It normally takes a substantial amount of income to get in there. You've got to kind of deposit 100,000 type of investment type of thing. So what happened, Robinhood was trying to, if you think of the film Robin Hood, you know, stole from the rich and gave to the poor. It was kind of that platform. So what they were trying to do was through their platform, give the likes of you and I exposure to that market so that we could create our wealth, and the powers at that beat didn't like that. So that's really what that means. So DeFi, decentralized finance, is the equivalent of that Robinhood, because now through our HyperVerse as is current, and as with Hypernation as will be, we will have access to generating personal wealth. So that's as easy as I can explain that. So it's given everybody, including the poor, the opportunity to create wealth, whereas we just don't want the rich getting richer and the poor staying poor.
Which is why I was so excited about this project in the first place, was purely for that reason. So yeah, it's good to focus back on that. All right, moving on. I'm just trying to work out that Mars video at the same time, so just bear with me as well. Now I've lost my, there it is. Okay, can you see that?
Yep.
DeFi offers lending, borrowing, and other financial products without any central authority. This can be achieved through peer-to-peer lending, where the agreed upon terms are enforced through smart contracts, providing complete transparency for both borrowers and lenders. Generally, funds are stored in a lending pool, funded by investors who receive interest based on their investment. Funds can be borrowed by individuals who offer enough collateral, similar to the rules of a traditional loan. Safeguards are set in place using stable coins so that the lenders will never lose their investments, regardless of the fluctuations in the collateral price. Once the loan is paid off, the borrower receives their collateral back and continues to hold their initial loan. Currently, there is roughly 250 billion US dollars locked in smart contracts. However, given the market size of traditional trading and borrowing, the smart contract market is expected to grow exponentially. Today, equity market capitalization is valued at over US 100 trillion.
Okay, stop it there.
Oh, okay.
The only reason why, because there's so much information just in that, we could probably take the whole thing just on that.
Yep.
What that's saying is, and I think we covered this on the first week, if I remember rightly, because there is a shift and a change towards currency right now, whether you believe it or not, whether you accept it or not, we are facing a global collapse of the economy. Now, that's not fear, that's fact. Every 30 to 40 years, this happens. The last time it happened was 1971, when President Richard Nixon of the US presidency took the world off the, well, he took the US off the gold standard, but effectively took the world off the gold standard. Gold was a checks and balance against currency. Now there's no check, and they can print as much of it as they want, and they can do whatever they want. And that's why we're in the shithole that we're in now. So DeFi, or decentralized finance, is about readdressing that, and more importantly, making that balance. Because now everybody on this call has the option to come in, and has done, otherwise you wouldn't be here, into the decentralized finance. And trust me, the banks and the governments and the powers that be don't like it. And they've tried to stop it for the last 12 years. They've now found out that they can't stop it. So what have they gone and done? They've now gone and created their own digital currencies, and will continue to try and keep everybody, including you and I, under control of that system. So what you're now going to have access, or do have access to, is to enter into the decentralized finance world, create your own wealth, or you stay with the banking system, the government system that we have, and you get on with it. Personally, you're probably going to be in both camps at some point, because if you're employed, working for another company, they're going to be controlled by government, and your wages will be paid subsequently in a digital form via your employer, via your bank, via your government. If you're on kind of any kind of government structured payments, we call them universal credits in the UK. I've got a feeling that's kind of global now. So that's the world you're in. But if you want to generate wealth from that system, trust me, you will not be able to. You will be on a universal credit. Everybody will be equal. And dare I say it, you would be entering into what currently is the communist China's central banking system. Every citizen in China has to comply to their government, or they are silenced, they are put in jail, and they never pass go, and they don't collect £200. So you either become fully compliant with your government, or you sit in both camps. You do what you have to do to survive and keep going, but at the same time, through blockchain technology and decentralized finance, you can create wealth. It's that simple.
Yeah, love it, love it, love it, love it. And I like the fact that you said that, you know, we probably will have to be in both camps. It'd be ultimately the dream to be able to be purely decentralized in that system, but we are, in all reality, probably going to have to play it in both camps, at least for a little while. And especially like with Hypernation, everything's pretty unclear at the moment how it's going to be rolled out. So we don't know, but the important thing is to know that they're on it. That's my
right. What I would say, Kirsten, I don't know, I think we've done it, but it might be worth just checking. I've now given everybody the ability to unmute. Mm-hmm. So if you have any questions related to what we just discussed, there is a video that we've posted previously. I don't know whether it's in our Facebook group, because there's that much in there now. The G7 video on YouTube. The British government, ahead of the G7 last year, 2021, they announced with all the G7, which is the 7 wealthiest countries, of which New Zealand, Australia and the UK are part of, and the US, if we've got anyone from here, they have instructed their banking system to create a central banking digital currency to replace all cash. There will not be any cash. You will not have any money in your purse or your wallet. It will all either be on a bank card, or what we would probably argue as the universal credit card. And they will be able to dictate where you spend that, how you spend that, and who you spend that with. So we've got, I keep going to say this word, and I don't like it. Kirsten Lavelle has hand up, and then Howard. If you'd like to, well, you can unmute. So we take Kirsten.
Put your camera on for us, love.
Yeah, so I think that's the reason behind the masks and all the secrecy as well. because obviously they're going against the governments, aren't they? I know some people don't like that.
Yep.
But that's what I think anyway. And anyone with a brain will know that's why they're not letting people know who they are.
I totally agree with that. My husband gave the thing the other day, and he said it's like they're up against the cartel. Like I would be masking my face too. I'd want to stay anonymous.
Well, here's the thing, and thanks for that, Kirsten, because you're absolutely spot on. One of the again, going forward, positive. One of the not, it's not an issue. It's just a development of business, if you like. Going forward into the hypernation, the investors have asked to remain anonymous for the exact same reason, Kirsten. Yeah. They don't want people to know that they're putting in, and I'm talking billions now. I'm not talking 40 or 400 or 410,000. I'm talking institutional investments where, as that little statement said, they're not looking for the pump and dumps. They're not looking for the ride it up and drop it down and all that crap. What they're looking for, what will give them a steady income per annum, and they will be happy to come in. Let's use the figure 100 billion. They come in with 100 billion at probably some in the regions of 10%, 12% per annum, and they will be absolutely delighted with that. But for you and I, unless some of you've got 100 billion, it's a doubt, you can't profit from that system. And that's why the whole economy, or the disparity of economy, has been the rich get richer, the poor get poorer, because they can afford to sit on something for 12 months at 12%, but you can't and I can't. In fact, your banks will only give you, at the moment in the UK, they'll only give you 0.5% per annum. What good's that to me? Yeah.
Did you hear what Kalpesh said this morning about Sam Lee? He said Sam said he's one shareholder or whatever, and there's 5 others, and they all want to remain anonymous. And
we'll touch on
dealing with China, like Dave just said in the thing. If you're living under like China's rule, you don't want anyone to know anything, because they will snap you.
Well, if they'll put you in prison, they'll confiscate everything you've got, and you're never going to see it again. But that's the point, Kirsten. This is where we're at. I mean, I don't want to go into the political side of it. I can do, but I don't want to. Is right now, China owns most of the world. They have bought into America. I think they own Disney World. I think they own California. I think they own Florida. They have strategically over the last 10 years bought up all the property, bought up all the land, bought up all the institutional wealth, like, Disneyland, probably 10 billion, 10 million people go through Disneyland every year. So they've bought all of that. So they are in control of these economies, whether we like it or not.
Same here in New Zealand. They're buying up land up here in New Zealand, all the massive farms.
And next to, I think the only country that, in fact, I actually think they are the biggest gold holders in the world. China owns more gold than probably the rest of the world put together. So they are literally in control. So they can drive the next economy boom or the next economy bust. Yep. So if they've got that power, trust me, they're going to use it. Yep. And that's why DeFi is so crucial to us as individuals, because we can go into that game secure, because we're on blockchain. They can't mess about with that. DeFi, because the governments can't control it, including China. This is why China weren't happy with what was HyperFund, because they saw that HyperFund as a company, the Hypertech group as a company, they were moving towards blockchain, and they obviously had a massive investor in that area, and they were taking people and companies into that space. And China didn't like it, so they tried to shut them down, and at some point did shut them down. So that's why they went to Dubai. And my understanding now, if I'm correct, and I'll stand corrected, is they've kind of moved a little bit backwards towards Hong Kong. but Hong Kong is an independent state of China. So maybe they found some sort of loophole from a business perspective that they can function in Hong Kong, whereas if they were in mainland China, they would be shut down. But anyway, yeah. Howard.
Yeah, we got Howard.
Yeah, but like that's hard information there, Paul. Excellent stuff. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand this fully, but I understand the mask, why they've got the masks on and they're hiding the faces. It's quite obvious that, you know what I mean? Why they keep changing the names all the time, hyperphoned and this, that, the other. I understand it, because, you've got the big players chasing them down, haven't you? The thing is, how are we going to make money in Hypernation?
Well, we don't know.
Good question. I wish I had
yet.
the answer. We just don't know, and this is why within our community, the HyperVerse community, there's been such kerfuffle over the last few weeks, because like you, and I'm sure there are people on this call who want answers. I want answers. Kirsten wants answers. We've got a bloody big community.
But the difference being with me is that I'm quite happy to wait for the answers. My trust is that they're going to do what they're saying. So that's the difference. Like, I want the answer. I can't wait.
Yeah, and let's be, the elephants in the room. So let's address it. There are two camps. There are the camp that, like Kirsten, God bless her, sweet soul that she is, she's happy to sit back and wait for it to happen. On the other hand, Paul Gunson isn't. Not because I don't trust in it, I do, and I'm fully behind it. But right now, I don't have an income. So I have to come up. Some of you may know my story going back. I've got 5 businesses. 4 of them were dormant because I wanted to build this. I was so involved in this, building this community, that I put my other businesses to one side. Well, guess what? I ain't doing that anymore. Right now, I'm going for a diversified portfolio.
Which we're not going to talk about. Which we're not going to talk about.
Which we're not.
Yeah.
No, which we're not. But that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Now, everybody on this call will be at either or maybe both. So that's where we stand. Yes, I want the answers. I want the same answers Kirsten wants. Yeah. But right now,
HyperVerse, they're not the only ones doing this. There's other companies doing this as well, or trying to pull this. They're not the only ones, and I don't blame them. Who the hell wants to be controlled? Who the hell wants to know what to do in their life?
No, absolutely, Howard. And it is important that each of you in this call has to do what you have to do for your family and for your posterity. We are quite clear, forging links going forward. We want everything that has been promised to be promised and given. And when that gets presented to us, hopefully in the next 2 to 3, 4 weeks, when we know what that is, then we will go forward with it or what. I'm happy to go forward with it, so long as I can go across, use my hyper units, use my certified accounts.
We're not talking about that now because we don't know. Right. All speculation.
Sorry, I'm getting pulled.
The thing is that I've already got my mask ready, so I'm all right.
Well, you're all good then. What are you worried about?
All right, so go on. You lead the conversation. What do you want to talk about?
I just want this call to be where this team here on this call at this point is 100% hyper. I don't care if you're looking at other things, but this here is 100% because that's where I'm at. Okay. And it's all about me, don't you know? All right, we're going to go to the Market Academy. Please tell me if you can hear it because I've just uploaded it again and turned up the volume. So we'll see if we can hear this, okay?
Go on.
Please let it be heard.
Hello everyone, I am your Mars Scholar, and welcome to Mars Academy. In each episode, we shall introduce a new concept so that everyone can understand blockchain easily. Today, we will explain what is yield farming and why it has become a new craze among crypto users. Yield farming is where users, also known as farmers, put their crypto assets to work and earn high returns on them. They deposit their crypto assets into liquidity pools, also known as farms, that power marketplaces where users can lend, borrow, or even exchange tokens. These actions would incur fees, which are then paid out to liquidity providers according to their share of funds within the pool. However, these fees may be inadequate to some liquidity providers, and they would maximize their yield by engaging in clever strategies of moving their crypto assets around different lending farms. Yield farmers will constantly chase different pools offering the best annual percentage yield, APY, but that often means incurring higher risks such as smart contracts risk, liquidation risk, and impermanent loss. Besides earning fees, yield farmers can also earn reward tokens, which they can harvest at any time. Reward tokens are DeFi protocol's take on airdrops, and these tokens are given to farmers depending on their participation in the protocol's liquidity pools. These reward tokens also serve as governance tokens and can be used to dictate the rules of its protocol, or simply be sold for profit. With the scarcity placed on these reward tokens, prices have skyrocketed, accelerating the earnings of yield farmers and further fueling the DeFi craze. As of September 2020, more than 1.9 billion USD worth of assets have been locked into liquidity pools. Yield farming may be highly lucrative, but the risks and complexity involved means that users should exercise caution before jumping into farming. It is only part of a bigger picture, that of DeFi and its potential to change the world.
Yeah, okay. That one was a bit deeper. I didn't think that was going to get as deep as that. Similar story to what I said before about traditional stocks and shares. If we now convert that over to farming, farmers will go out and buy X amounts of seeds and plant the seeds, hoping that there's going to be a harvest. If we now take that into the financial world, that's exactly what's happening. There are people who want to put their assets, and you saw the bank with the money and the gold, that's basically sitting there doing nothing. Think of a bag of seed in the shop, it's doing nothing. It only actually activates when the farmer buys the sound, buys it, goes and sows the seed. Well, that's the same with the financial world. Unless they take their money out the bank and put it into somewhere where it's going to generate an income, it's of no use to anybody in the bank. That's a given now. So this farming principle is attached to obviously speculation. What's the price going to be? Is it going to go up? Is it going to down? So they're very cautious of the crypto space because it is a minefield, and it's a game that most traditional investors don't want to get involved in. But what they do know is the crypto market is going to be a 10 trillion market. So if you're a major investor, you're going to want a slice of that, but you want a slice of it where your assets are protected and they're happily taking 8 to 10% per annum basis, and that's good. So instead of it sat in the bank with nothing, but the farming staking, the contracts around farming staking, there is that little bit of an element of it's the risk. There's a risk ratio in there, so they will look at that and say, right, what is the best way for me to liquidate my cash, gold, whatever the asset, into a market where they're going to get the best return. Some people will go for the high risk return and try and get 15%, 18%, 20%. And then other people will say, well, actually, no, I'm only going in with 3-4% because they don't want that risk element.
I know, speaking of that risk element, I've seen, it's funny, when you start one crypto thing on a platform like Facebook or Instagram, you get all these other ones just pop up, right? And I've seen a few things coming through on that yield farming. And it's something that's obviously, but I have zero idea about it. But like Salacia said, there's so much out there, so many ways to create wealth, and we're just starting to learn. Like that's what's so exciting about this. HyperVerse has opened our eyes to this whole other world that we had no idea was even out there. I love it. And you know what's crazy about that, Kirsten? It's been in our back office for 2 years. I know, right?
That's what's crazy.
I know.
It's not that it's not being accessed. It's that we just can't be bothered going in and listening and reading. That's the problem. That's why we've decided as Forging Links that this is how we go forward. And we want you. Yeah.
Sorry, I was just going to say, it's funny that people say the company's not communicating. They're not communicating. They're not telling us anything. They kind of are. If you go, Like even if with the white paper, I look down to the timeline, they spoke about bringing in the smart contracts. They introduced the smart contracts in January. We sort of went, oh yeah, I tried a little bit, threw my hands up in the air because I thought, oh, that's too much drama. I don't need it. I'm not going to do it. Had I done it, I could have made bank on HVT initially, right in the beginning.
And I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember who said it yesterday because a lot's happened since yesterday. But somebody raised the DeFi issue. Sorry, not the DeFi.
Dennis.
The DeFi. Yeah, Dennis, the DeFi. Yeah. You know, you can go into that and have a look. You could have gone staking, which effectively is farming. You could have got 10% increase, 15% increase, 24% increase on any of your HVT, on any of your MOF. And that's just gone right past everybody because no one's gone in and pressed the bloody button.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, trust me, we're going and pressing buttons now. Don't you worry about that. All right. Oh, Paul. Sorry, my darling. Come in. Unmute.
That's why I love the space even more than when we first joined it. Like, it come in to our lives and it changed our lives. This platform has done everything it said it would and continues to do so in my mind. This is just me and my comments, right? I saw past rewards program and tried the education, but didn't get it. That's why I love the space even more, because I feel like I'm an apprentice that's in a company that's teaching me a craft, right? And now we've picked up their tools and we're using their tools to learn our crafts. Now, as a plumber, carpenter, whatever you've chosen to do in life, I'm sure we've all worked for one company, not just one company. I've worked for multiple companies. And I see this as something that we can take with us. It's a craft, and then we can better our lives with this craft. I love this platform. I love what it's doing to me with all the noise going on. I'm just blocking that noise out because this is the positive people. They, like my wife said, and Paul said, they've had this on offer for us to educate ourselves for a long, long time. Hello, people, we were asleep at the wheel. We got disillusioned with the shiny thing on the left-hand side. All the beautiful stuff's on the right-hand side. I just love this platform. And I seriously thank Forging Links for taking to this next level in my apprenticeship so that I can further myself, if not only in this company, but in other companies. So thank you very much, Forging Links.
I give you,
yeah,
I love that.
I think that's great. And just what I don't know whether you saw the comments there, Paul, but somebody's just posted, don't you love having power over muting your husband, Kirsten? And she started laughing. But Paul's just mentioned something there, which I think is appropriate, because obviously you all know by now, hopefully you all know that I'm a blacksmith. And let me tell you something about the principle of forging. You all know the story behind links. Let me take you back one step further. In order to forge a pure link, i.e. that it welds 100%, you have to clean the fire. And what will you do with that? Whenever you're about to forge a link, you take it's called slag. When coal heats up, all the metals and all the elements all melt out and you go to the bottom of the fire and it causes a slag. And it's horrible. Anyway, you take that out, you put fresh coal in, and then you start, and what you do, you throw silver sand onto it. Now, what silver sand does is it purifies the gases in the coal. So if there's any gases in there, they escape, because the last thing you want is flipping coal blowing up while you're trying to forge a link. So it cleans the fire, it purifies the fire, it gives it its best possible chance of being a pure heat.
Nobody wants to listen to you anyway.
I always mute myself.
Do us a favor, guys. If you're going to talk, mute yourself, please. What you do then is you give that link the best possible chance of forging. But here's the principle I want to teach. If there's a white hot piece of coal in that fire and there's gas in it, it will literally blow up. And what happens is it forces itself out of the fire and it goes out of the fire. And what happens then? It starts to cool down. Hold on, guys. I'm going to have to mute you out. what happens then, that piece of coal will come out of the fire, which has been nice glowing white heat, and it will cool down and return to a black piece of coal. And the principle here is, if you're not in the fire, if you're not in the group, if you're not in the community, you're not benefiting from what's going on. So forging links are inviting you to come in and be part of that glow, part of that energy, part of that heat. And if you choose, well, no, this guy talks a load of rubbish, then what happens? You go out and you'll kind of die on the vine. You're cold, it will lose its heat. You won't get any energy from the group. And this is what we love about this community, because we are open, we are transparent, we are positive. We want you to be warm, comfortable, happy. And we can only give what we know.
Yeah. Fact is,
we can't give you what we know.
Yeah.
Okay, carry on.
Exactly. Thank you for that. I thought you were going to say you got to be chucked in the fire, and I thought, yeah, well, we can't in the fire now. We'll come out refined. We'll come out refined. That's what. Yeah. All right, I'm going to share.
And that's just on that, before you go any further, that is the principle of the fire. I mean, we can go even scriptural on that. What does it say about the refiner's fire? You know, we are all, as human beings, we are being put through the refiner's fire. We are being purified, whatever your belief system is. We are being tried and tested. We are going through the refiner's fire, and that's the exact same principle as a blacksmith's fire. It's refined, it's pure, all the contaminants, all your habits, all your sins, all your, your this, your that, all of that's being taken from us. Personal development will help with that. Being plugged in, being switched on, listening to positive attitude, reading positive books and all that stuff. That's the principle of going through the refiner's fire.
And just on that, I'll just do a little plug here too. At this point, we take control of the things we have control of. Yeah. And so that is education and that is personal development. And both of those things, you put time and effort into those things, and you'll never, ever be let down by those two things. All right. I'm just going to share the screen and we're going to go to the second little video. Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear it. Okay.
Hello, everyone. I'm your Mars Scholar, and welcome to Mars Academy. In each episode, we shall introduce a new concept so that everyone can understand blockchain easily. Today, let us talk about an exciting application made possible by blockchain technology, NFTs. NFTs, also known as non-fungible tokens, are a unique type of cryptographic ERC-721 tokens. They are traceable and verifiable on the blockchain, making it impossible for the tokens to be swapped or replaced. Hence, NFTs can function perfectly as a proof of authenticity and ownership of digital assets, and this has drawn many digital creators to create and store their work within the digital realm. Digital artists are using NFTs for this very reason, since the full history of information on the asset can be traced and verified. Think of art, where proof of origin and ownership is essential for establishing authenticity and for ruling out if a piece is a forgery, a reproduction, or stolen art. NFTs are also used by decentralized applications for the creation and ownership of unique digital items and collectibles. One popular example would be CryptoKitties, a blockchain game that allows players to purchase, collect, breed, and sell virtual cats. As the virtual kitties are produced in limited quantities with unique identities, there was massive demand for them due to digital scarcity. The impact was huge, causing network congestion on the Ethereum network, with virtual kitties selling for tens of thousands of dollars. In more recent news, over on the crypto game Axie Infinity, a digital pet universe on the blockchain, one especially rare Axie NFT, representing a collectible creature in the game, sold for 300 ETH earlier this month, or approximately $130,000 at the time of sale. NFTs present great potential and opportunities for our increasingly digital world, and will enable vibrant new digital economies where users can create and own digital assets that are uniquely theirs. If you would like to get started with owning some NFT tokens, you can visit the largest marketplace for user-owned digital goods, OpenSea, to purchase collectibles, gaming items, digital art, and other digital assets that are backed by a blockchain. What are you waiting for? Go check it out!
what are we waiting for? I'm going to do that this week. I'm going to go through that process. And do you know what I'm going to be following? An article in our back office from October 2021 lays it out for us step by step.
Go away, fancy that. Who would believe? But as we used to say in our former channel, you can't write this stuff, can you?
Yeah, I know, right?
All right, let's break that down a little bit. NFT, non-fungible tokens. In the traditional art world, you'll all be familiar with paintings. Let's use the Mona Lisa, for example. The Mona Lisa is a one-off painting. It's unique, never be reproduced. And even if you tried to copy it, you probably couldn't. But here's the thing. If that were to become an NFT today, what would the value of that be? Well, it'd be in the millions and millions. But those little kitties, for those of you who like cats and dogs and other things, you can get them for as little as 30 HU, or well, I'm not sure what they are in the back office, but they won't be dear. But the thing is, if there's a uniqueness associated to them, then they can go up in value. So it's like having that Mona Lisa for that particular NFT. And then over time, it increases. Now you saw, I mean, don't get me wrong, guys, I haven't got a clue who the hell would want to buy a picture of a cat for 130,000, but trust me, there are some crazy people out there.
But they obviously, they'd either be looking at it, they wouldn't be looking at it as an artwork, because that would make no sense. They'd be looking at it because they know the value in the years to come. Yeah. Now
we're getting it. So this is why Kirsten and I discussed creating Forger Links as a NFT. So the blacksmith with the ring, and that's not the NFT. There's a lot more to that, but that's just a rough draft. So we're going to produce 8,888 NFTs, and they will have different colors. They will have a rainbow in there. I've got one with an infinity symbol in there, symbolizing eternity. Kirsten has got the one with kingdom, so hands off, that's his. And there'll be more stuff added to it to make it even more unique.
And going along with that, like that's what we're going to do, but going along with that, once I've worked this out, guys, I'm going to take you through it step by step so you can create your own ones as well. Okay? Just give me a couple of weeks, because it looks like it's going to be a brain strain, but I'll get there, I promise.
Yeah. So here's the principle, because I think it was Martin that asked, and I think Tina, I went down to visit Stonehenge at the weekend, and Tina was down there, so I went to call in with Tina, which was a great visit. I also saw Grandpa Crypto at the same time, and then went on to my party. But here's the beauty. I took a photograph, because one of my bucket lists, other than Stonehenge, was to actually go and sleep on the beach.
You cheated. You stayed in your car. That's kind of not sleeping on the beach.
It was just as bloody cold. But anyway, here I was. I watched the sun set over the ocean on the south coast of England, which was absolutely beautiful. I took some photographs, and I'll post them. Now, what I did as an example, I put my NFT in the bottom corner. So you can actually come into us if you want to and have us design an NFT for you. You might have a special color. I've said to Tina already, you've got one with your dolphins and that cloud. So she's got hers.
Yeah.
Martin recently posted some photographs of his tour around Finland, I think. Yes, Finland. So if he was to say to me, I'd like to turn this into that NFT, by putting in his forging links, that's the NFT. But that picture is unique. So there won't ever be another picture that will become as rare as the Mona Lisa. Because even if he went to the same place every day for the rest of his life at the same time and took that same photograph, it would never reproduce. It would never reproduce, because what happened at that timestamp, the sun was at a certain place, the clouds were in a certain place, the reflection on the water was in a certain place, there might have been a little bit of wind that was causing the water to ripple. He will never, ever, ever be able to reproduce that photograph. So that is unique. So that's what we're saying. If you've got a picture and you want to turn it into an NFT through Forging Links, We're going to offer that to us.
Or not through Forging Links.
Or
We've got a picture. We'll show you how to do it once I know how to do it. Kirsten on here, she's going to have a go at it too. So I think between us all in this group, we can sort this stuff out. Like even if it is a brain strain, we can work it out.
Yeah, Paul's got his hand up again. He likes to talk now.
Yeah.
Here's the power. Press the button.
Unmute. And add spotlight. There you go.
Yeah, the question I have in my head is, who the heck wants to buy artwork off little old me or this NFT off me? The comparison I use is I'm a gamer. Like for those of you who've been in the room before, I make no thing in saying that I'm a gamer. Now, what I see in NFT is like in the gaming world, you buy upgrades, you buy a bigger sword, you buy a bigger gun, you buy a bigger weapon or life. I got caught up in that little trap in that the games they have online is they always offer you these things. And because I was in a situation where I bought. So you have to remember that everybody on this planet has different things that they have interest in, and they put value to things. And believe you me, there's those of us who can't afford things, but there's a heck of a lot of people that can afford to put money into things, and they don't know why. Because right now, I can't afford to do those gaming upgrades, and I'm thinking, why did I do that? I just played the game now, and I can get through those stages, but with a bit more time and effort, even though my wife doesn't know I do that. But I can see how these NFTs can become a fad, and people can make bank off them. Because that was my biggest thing, like, well, who wants to buy a photo off me? But I can see it through my gaming experience, people.
That's
seriously.
What's going, and that's what I'm excited about for the Hyper Nation, because they've said, like, they haven't been specific, but they said there's going to be opportunities to go in and spend the time in there to create things. Other people with money are going to come along, see what you've got, and want to buy it. There's options in there.
Just my experience in the art world. My brother knew this guy. He was doing some fancy, there was some name for it, some extreme art thing. He had this piece of art, he called art, which I could have whacked up with a few bits of wood and thrown some syringes and a cotton bud in. This thing he was trying to sell for like $1,500. And I'm going, are you serious right now? He had an art show and he actually sold that. So, it's not silly to think that people pay money for these things. Honestly.
Listen, let me tell you, and I'm going to use the word, there are some crazy people out there. And let me tell you, I saw an article about probably a month ago now. And what it was, and if I dare, I'll prove it here. Can you see that?
No, hold it closer.
Can you see that now?
Yep.
All right. That's my 3-year-old granddaughter done that for me today.
Yeah, beautiful.
This guy, who is a famous artist, he produced 3 of them. Know how much they sold for on the market?
No.
All of them were between 2 and 5 million. And I could have got I could have put that. In fact, I might even turn that into an NFT just to prove the point.
It's kind of like the Emperor's Got No Clothes, eh? They're like, oh, yes, that's amazing. That's incredible. And everyone around them's going, oh, yes, that's so beautiful.
Now, somebody might look at that and say, oh, I love that. I'll have that. I'll buy that. Now, it might only cost purely $20, $30. But once you buy it, you own it. It's unique. That will never, ever be reproduced. If I said to my 3-year-old, go and copy that, what's the chances of copying that?
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. So that's the proof of the pudding, by the way.
Awesome.
So this guy did 3 of them. It looked like he'd just done that with crayons, but obviously on a big canvas. And they all sold between 2 and 5 million.
Yeah, there's a lot of capacity within this space to branch off into many different things, and as if we learn about all of them, we'll find the one that we like. We'll find that one that we want to master.
Yeah, and going back to the kitten one, some of you may be cat lovers, some of you may be dog lovers. Personally, I love nature. So if I saw, that one that I did in Weymouth when I went down to visit Tina, that view, I loved it because it was all blues and, sort of turquoisey colors, because that's kind of my color. And because there was a little bit of the sun coming through, and it, you know, it captured what I would see as that's my happy place.
Beautiful.
And it's unique. So you may have, and going back to Paul's comments on the gaming, what people don't understand, or not don't understand, but perhaps don't know, is that's how Bitcoin became Bitcoin. Because Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever or whatever he is, he saw that people like Paul were happy to exchange fiat currency to get that new tank.
Yep.
To get that new piece of ammo, or to get that, you know, extra grenade or the rocket launcher. And he thought, wow, 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 this is an economy. I wonder if we can turn that into a currency. And the rest of the system. But here's the thing, Bitcoin failed. And the reason why it failed, because the idea on the white paper is that it would become a currency, which means it has to exchange, because currency doesn't go up in value unless it becomes what we call volume assets. And the more we trade, the more we go out and buy, the more this, the more that, the more it moves and rotates, the value goes up. Because it became valuable quickly, it became an asset. And an asset is something you don't want to give up unless it goes up to a price that you're happy to sell it at. So that's the world that we're going into. NFTs is just going to be a very simple, easy way to get into that. So you'll go and buy that one that you like. Kirsten's NFT will be different to my NFT. Yeah. And it makes it unique. So you'll all have your own, you know, your own happy place. You'll have your own things that you like, you know. So well, anyway, it's great. I'm flipping well over the moon with this stuff.
Yeah. Well over the moon. That's a good thing. All right. Well,
anybody else?
Yeah, we're approaching the hour. So has anyone got any questions or anything they'd like to say? No,
we're getting good at this then, aren't we?
Everyone's getting quiet. Yeah. So tomorrow going forward, we'll just go through the next couple of videos. If you want to have a look at them first and get some questions together, because I kind of only watch them as I'm downloading them and don't really take much notice, and I wait till I watch them with you guys. But yep, education's where it's at. We're going to keep going through the white paper. I know that some people are getting fearful of Hypernation and having to go over there. I just think, man, they're going to take us in there with like preparing us with knowledge and stuff before we go in. So just lap up this opportunity, guys. That's where I'm at. Okay. All right.
Lovely.
Excellent. Lovely having you all here today, and we'll see you same bat time, same bat channel.
Take care. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Forging links.
Forging links, one person at a time.